Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Getting off the Tinker Day. Going to tear in the Panther, do the rear parking brake, get that set. I don't know why that's still acting up. And replace some parts on this front suspension. Start off by doing a parking brake back here. Let me pull this wheel off, get this parking brake adjusted. Rear brake pads are still good. You see that through there? I got the parking brakes pulled now. And this thing just spins freely. Makes no sense to me. So let me go ahead and release that and adjust that so that they grab. Yeah, man, hub come right apart. Pull that brake caliper off of that rotor. So I got a hub for that. Pulling the strut off, getting that out so we could replace this strut as well. It is all together, folks. That was loose when it hit the ground, but we torqued that down. Now we're about to tear into this other side. We'll check the parking brake over here. These rotors need to be replaced, so I got to do those. I didn't bring them with me. Had a brand new set of Volvo rotors. Had my hands on them today. Look like those pads might be worn out. I'll do pads and rotors on this one soon. And then we'll get that front strap. Got it all buttoned up, torqued down. Time to go racing. Panther is rolling smooth again. Man, that's about $2,800 worth of work. Probably 3 G's. All the stuff we just did on Panther. Headed to go get me some lunch and head back to the house. Kicking off the Tinker Day with battery business. I am going to check this battery. If it's above 75%, I'm going to leave it be, health-wise. If it's below, I'm going to throw it back on this tether and go get the next battery and get it ready for testing. These two batteries are bad. I'm going to use those for cores. These two batteries are supposed to be good. Let's check it out real quick. Testing, 1, 2, testing. It's been sitting for a few days, 79%, 100%. Let me go get this other battery, throw it on this charging system, and see what we can get out of it. Next battery on deck is this Interstate battery. I don't have any idea how old it is and nothing like that. I believe it came out of Byron's truck. It says the power is too low to really test it. It had 9.1 volts or something like that. But hey, I think this thing's going to be recoverable. So let me go ahead and test it now and then test it after it sits on the charger and gives us a fully charged green light. It's at 0, 0 now, so it says test it again after charging. I have to say, having multiple vehicles, trying to maintain them and keep good batteries in them and stuff like that, you need a decent charger and a good battery tester, decent battery testers. This thing, I don't know how much it costs, maybe 80 bucks, and that thing there probably cost, I don't know, 60 bucks, something like that, maybe less. But get you a battery tester and a battery charger if you're going to be doing this. Now, right now, this thing is already kicked over 25%. So it's working between 25 and 50% charge. It was good that it wasn't totally depleted. Those are easier to recover. So let's let this thing roll a few hours and come back and test and see. That may be a bad sign. Now it's saying it's charging between, maybe it's running through some kind of test. I don't know, because now it's saying it's trying to charge between 75 and 100%. It ain't been on the charger 5 minutes. So hopefully it doesn't have dead cells in it. I might pop the caps on it and see if it's got the liquid in there. I don't know if distilled water is good for putting in there or some kind of other battery acid filling stuff, but it may have a few dead cells, which will make this charger try to charge up the good cells. but we'll come back in a few hours to check it out. Let me get to work on changing the oil on Panther and changing that rear harness on Panther. I also need to find my multimeter so I can test that replacement harness I have for Panther. I don't want to put a bad harness, replacing a bad harness, but man, the harness that's in there now is very bad. So it is time for me to finish up a few things on Panther. Yesterday did a total front end rebuild. Maybe not total, because the control arms are still in decent shape and the anti-sway bar end links are getting a little worn, and one of the anti-sway bar bushings is getting a little worn. But we did struts, spring seats, axles, rotors. Did get some stuff done. So anyway, it's running good. I need to change the oil and change this wire harness for this rear hatch. The rear hatch on Panther, man, is having some issues. The wire harness going through there. When I open a door, sometimes it'll lock the doors because it's short back there. Several wires broken. When I cut the headlights on, it locks the doors. So there's a cross or contamination between the wires back there. And I pulled a harness out of a car yesterday. I have two harnesses in storage somewhere, but not sure I have easy access to them. So I'm going to replace it with the one I got from the salvage yard yesterday. I also picked up some spare parts from a guy yesterday, so I do have some parts people may benefit from. But you may remember, I fixed a lot of these wires in this harness not too long ago. Look at it. Maybe this stuff is broken because I didn't wrap it up right or didn't wrap it up good, but I got one obviously broke wire. I don't know if there's others obviously broke or not, but I think this is the source of my problem, so I'm going to replace this harness. Don't really like doing that because of the other work involved, but hey, it's got to be done. Common symptoms of this wire harness being damaged is your rear hatch not locking and unlocking with the central locking system, your license plate lights not working, your windshield wiper system not working, a couple other things. But let me tear into this and get this done. This is the strut I took off a Panther. I wanted you guys to hear the noise it makes when I compress it. If you could hear it over that whining dog. And it gurgles when it extends. Didn't seem to make any noise that time when it extended. Try to listen to this one. A lot of groaning going down. Not too bad coming up. A little noisy. Up, still coming up. Step one, take this piece off here. It's got a couple of tabs you push from way back there. Kind of don't work to unlatch it right. And I broke my frame. Really sucks. I gotta find that other piece, try to glue that back together. Then I gotta find one from another car. Now unhook the bottom, slide it up on the top. Also need to replace this light bulb in here. It's bad. Have not found my multimeter yet, but I did find another wire harness. This is what really sucks about taking this panel down. I got 3, missing 1 totally. And that one's broke, that one's broke, that one's broke, that one's good. So I need 3 of these trim clips just to put this thing back together. I don't know where this is from. I doubt it's this, but I'll take a look and see. I did end up taking this hinge area apart so that I could drop that wire harness down there. Got it back in here, getting ready to drop it down through there. I need to find this gasket that goes across here. This has been messed up for years. And now it's coming up at the corner, which will probably let water down in here, so I need to do something about that. We'll try to find one of those. I got everything secure and plugged in. Now I'm gonna run it through there and plug it in there. Hopefully this secures all this weird electrical stuff. If not, I might have a light switch broken. Got this little hinge wire harness piece of plastic piece that hooks up there. Comes down through here, holding the wire harness, and it hooks in right there. So make sure you got that right. Now let me put this wire harness in that little thing there and plug it in. As soon as I plugged it in, the alarm went off. I don't know if that's a good or bad sign. Anyway, let me get that stowed, get this back together. Got to take these clips here, turn them 25%, pull them out, then load them up here to put this panel back on. I got a whole video showing you how to get this panel off and on. Nope, let me put some light on it. It's got light on it. There it is. Load them in there like that. And then you hook the panel over top of those and then clip them around the bottom. And how those things go together. Hey, I found one that looks like it's okay. Not good, but okay. So I got 3. I'm missing one from the corner, and I don't know where I put those extra things. So I'm going to go together with it, come back to that. Time for the oil change. I had to empty whatever is in that tug into there. So when I put oil in there, I could recycle the oil. It's always good to check your oil level before you change your oil. Somebody made a comment on one of my videos about the concern with filling the oil filter before they change the oil in the car. Man, to each his own. That 1 or 2 seconds that oil filter has to fill up and purge is totally your deal if you want to let the car do that. I'm at 515,000 miles, so I'm going to keep doing it my way. So I've put about 15,000 miles on this car in the past year. Let me see if the door is locked when I turn the key on and turn the lights on. That's what was going on before. I thought I had something to do with that wire harness back there. Keys on as if the car is running. Turn the lights on, see if the door is locked. No door locking. I guess that has something to do with it. Let me go ahead and get this oil change. I got a couple of vents busted up. This one right here and this one over here. So I'm going to replace this one with the one I got right there. If it fits, then I'm going to try to fix this other one with these 2 busted vents. So, ugh. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Oh, dang. It's missing the back piece. Wonder if that's falling down in the vent. Let me pull that back out and see what's going on with that. Heck, that one looks like it's missing the same thing. I looked down both of those vents. I could not find none of these back bars. So that's weird that both of them missing the same thing. I don't know if I knock those off or they break off while I'm cleaning the vents or what. This one's got a crack in the corner. So I'm going to replace that one with this one when I find the back bar for it. Throw this in the armrest in the meantime. We're going to go with a oops on this one. Looks like our drain plug is leaking. But when I look at this oil filter that I marked, oil change was done September 28th at 490,000 miles with Mobil 1 10W40. And today is December, I don't know, 12th or something. I'm at 515. So I'm going to take a sample of this and send it into Blackstone Labs to see if they say I need to change any oil any sooner than this. This is probably the longest I've ever gone without an oil change. 15,000 miles was prior. I'm burning or leaking or blowing out about a quart of oil every 1,000 miles or so. As you can see, I got oil coming out of my turbo weep hole. That's because I think my turbo is on its last leg. I'm about to finish it off with a tow. So, heck, I got oil blowing by out of my dipstick and everything. But I'm not going to worry about that stuff. I'm going to get this oil changed and send some of it to Blackstone Labs and see what they say about the condition of the oil and the engine. My actual goal is to change the oil every 7,500 miles, 10,000 on an extended change if I put 10,000 on it real quick. I don't know how I got this far. Anyway, let me get it done. Well, good news is there's no sludge in the drain plug. It's got that oil temp sensor in it. No sludge in there, so that's good. We'll see how the sample comes back. Well, folks, I must be honest. I've never seen oil come out of Panther this thick. This is the problem with extended oil changes. Well, this is beyond extended. This is neglectful. But look how thick that oil is. That viscosity is what'll mess things up for you. Even though there wasn't no sludge in that drain plug, this is a little concerning, but we're going to change it and see how it comes back. All right, guys, the best way to avoid a catastrophe like this is to put a oil change reminder sticker in your car. So I'm going to put a piece of tape in there until I get my hands on one of them stickers. But you should be able to get those stickers from any auto parts store, and IPD sells them as well. Get you an oil change reminder sticker so that you don't do what I did. Sad thing is, this engine is sounding better already. Change the oil, let it idle for a few minutes. Now I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes, check the level, top it off. And it looks like I'm about due on this mount here. It's starting to tear. I may have one of those. It's not bad, but starting to tear. So let me check the oil, top it off. I think I got a fuse box cover for this because that latch is broke there. So I need to replace that. I also borrowed the hood catch there. I have one of those in the car, so I need to install that safety backup, and button Panther up, get to work on this other car. Well, next up is this T5R. I don't think we've put 1,000 miles on this car, but I don't have any records of ever changing the oil. So I'm going to change the oil on this because I'm about to put this thing in service. It's been kind of a spare vehicle for us for the last year or so, year and a half. It's got nice newer tires on it. It's got the Titans on it. And I'm planning on manual swapping it, selling it. I think the seat for it's in that wagon over there. But I'm going to go through the parts that's in the back, put everything I don't need immediately in storage, service this car, and get it ready for its manual swap. That car there needs to be cleaned up, serviced, and it may have a bad transmission. I got to check it out. Got to get it started, check it out, timing belt, do all that stuff to it. Here we are about 5 hours later on this interstate battery. See where we're at here. Woo! 5%. Man, I'm going to let that sit for a day, see what happens. 139 cold cranking amps. Plugged our charger back in. Hooked it back up. It had all 4 lights on, but that green one on the end was still flashing, so it was still working on it. Let's let this thing sit a day, see what happens. Got a couple things going on here. 1, missing the battery hold down. 2, I need a better reservoir on this thing. 3, I smelled a little coolant inside. 4, I borrowed a hood latch. About to put that on. I just cleaned up the bolts, and I got a new bolt here for that, and the crossover cable. Then I'm gonna check the heater core. I got to install the seat, and the tires, man, had a little bump in them when I first started driving from this car sitting so much. So I need to find a better route for that. And I'm going to change the oil because I don't know when it's been changed last. I know I haven't had a Volvo oil filter for a long time, and this thing has a Volvo oil filter. The only Volvo oil filter I remember having as of late I got from Nordic, and it had a dent in it. I don't think this oil filter has a dent. Has no idea when it was replaced, because I normally write on them, and it may have been replaced. I've had the car a year and a half, almost 2 years. April will be 2 years, and I haven't done it, so let me get that done. Got the cable and the latch hooked up, and it works. Now I gotta route this thing back here and put these screws back in this top of this radiator. I evidently borrowed those. Not a good thing. And we got a little oil up here. Don't know where it's coming from. Coming from somewhere. Hopefully not one of these screws. Maybe it's just hadn't been cleaned up. So I'm gonna dry this up. Oh, on Panther I noticed my ground wire was missing and broken. So I need to get another ground wire for Panther's cylinder head. This relay holder thing is busted. Some of the hooks are not there. And I got a chip out of it here, so I'll get another one of those. The EGR valve vacuum was disconnected, that top line there. I got that connected. These power steering lines are not in a comfortable position, being away from that intake manifold. So I'm going to try to remove this dipstick and put that in the proper place so that these lines are not being pushed back into this fan. Then I could get this ground wire for the fan back in its holder. Then they got a weird vacuum line coming from over here all the way over there to the PTC. Is that jacked up over there? I don't know what. Oh, they got a line disconnected here. I don't even know what this goes to. I gotta figure out what this is hooked up to. I got some jacked up stuff going on over here. I gotta figure out. Ah, that looks like, shoot, it ain't the wastegate actuator, it ain't the bypass, but it looks like it's going into the turbo control. That may be the turbo control red line. Oh, no, this was the PCV that broke, that they bypassed it with that special hook up there. All right, I got it. About to say, you don't want that turbo control stuff jacked up. Oh, crap. There isn't a wraparound pipe. Well, this wraparound pipe for this PCV is jacked up too. It's supposed to be leaning against this intake manifold, and it ain't nowhere near it. I wonder if that's even connected. Let's look down here. See if this is even connected to the oil trap. Oh man, I might have to reach down there or something. Some kind of way to get down there. See if this PCV is hooked up right. Oh, this is crazy. It's crazy. I can't see it. It's crazy. Somebody's been jacking around here. Let me get to work. Man, that dipstick looks good. That would make me think this might be true about this engine only having like 15,000 miles on it. So let me move these like this, put that oil dipstick back in, and keep this thing moving. I'm gonna unwrap this ground wire from around this relay harness, fan harness, because that makes it too short to get in the clip. Well, I dropped the dipstick bolt and my alarm rang for me to get ready for our Christmas party. So I'm gonna wrap this up, pick it up tomorrow. Another day, another Volvo drama. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.